everybody, welcome back to the October art vlog. And this time it's an exciting month because October means Inktober or Drawtober, and it's the first time where I tried to follow a prompt list, so that was really fun. I did not complete any challenges. I did not manage to draw or paint every day of the month. And if you did, please tell me how you did it, because I just don't get it. With life in general and responsibilities and everything. And if you want to see at least one person during the month, I just don't see how it's manageable. So if you did, please share, because I need to know. But I still did a lot more art than what I do usually. So I hope you enjoy it. There's a lot of art content in this one. A little bit of me talking, but not too much compared to the usual. Don't forget to grab a drink of water if you can, and if you want to. Don't hesitate to draw or paint while you watch this one. I think it's the right mood for that. And I will see you at the end. Today is September 30th, and it's our first day of this October vlog. I just wanted to show you something that I received that I would have liked to put in my September vlog, but I just finished it when I received it, so let me show you. So I received these. These are made for solvents and mediums when you do an oil painting. So I'm going to put my solvent in here instead of using the mason jar. It comes with this little thing that you put in the jar, and this doesn't reach the bottom. So what's nice is that the paint that is on your brush will go on the bottom of the jar, and it will be here, and the solvent will stay up. So I'll be able to wash my brush against this texture a lot better than in the mason jar, and hopefully the solvent and the paint, once it's settled, won't mix together again. Well, that's the goal. So cute and sturdy. It feels like a much better quality than I thought it would be. I bought it on Amazon. And it came with this 2 little pots for the mediums. So that's really good. That's super small. That's exactly something like that I was looking for. It makes me think of my contact lenses case when I wore contact lenses. Good memories, or not really. The caps seal very well. They won't fall. And what's nice is that there's this little clamp here, so you can clamp it to your palette. Super useful, especially if I paint with my palette in my hand. At some point, I will always have my mediums nearby. And also, I put my oil painting that I did on the wall, and I'm super happy about it. I put it there mainly because my big easel was taking too much space, and I realized that I had a painting on the wall that I didn't care too much about. So I just put the oil painting there. It's gonna dry there, and it's very cute. Well, hello. Welcome to the first day of October. You know what this means, right? We're in October. That means Inktober. I don't want to say it too loud because I don't want to commit to doing it. But every year I want to do it. Every year I admire people who do it. And I'm always telling myself, oh, wouldn't it be fun if I did it one year? Maybe it could be this year. But I don't want to put pressure on myself because it took me 6 months to draw 100 portraits, a challenge that was supposed to take me 10 days. So maybe I could just say that I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do some of the prompts on some of the days of the month, because I know that I won't have time to draw every day. That's impossible. And I thought that it would be easier if I plan ahead, if I try to find at least some ideas to help me with the prompts on days where I don't have a lot of time to draw. At least that would accelerate the process. But that means that for today, it will take more time. We will try. Okay? Yeah. I'm going to be following the prompts from Max Monroe, her Maxtober. Her prompts are super interesting. I feel like they allow a lot of freedom. I'm going to draw my ideas in this sketchbook, but I was wondering, how long do you think I have until it falls apart? Welcome to the October voiceover. Right now I'm doing some thumbnails. As you've seen, I've taken every prompt from the Mactober's prompt list, and I'm trying to find something that will match with the prompt. And I'm really following my intuition on this one. My goal is pretty much to go with the first idea that comes into my mind. I don't want to have to draw many iterations for the same idea or for the same prompt. And so far, so good. I would say that the first one, it was Tell Me About You. And I was so uninspired and I didn't know what would represent me best, because there's so many aspects of me, I think, that don't fit together that much. So I decided to draw an octopus that was holding something that represents me in each hand. So we have a spatula for cooking. We have a black belt because I have a Taekwondo black belt. We have a paintbrush for painting. We have a camera, of course, in the middle because I'm a photographer. We also have a needle because I'm a nurse as well. Her expression is a bit on the meh side because I think that I'm a little bit searching right now for what is truly me. So that was how I felt at the time of drawing this one. Now I remember trying to find an idea for this fourth one, which is something cubular, and I wanted to draw some boxes, but I kind of tried coming up with something directly from my head, but in the end I had an idea. My sister used to own a company and she used to ship some boxes to the clients, and I asked her to send me a couple of pictures of a bunch of boxes that she was going to send out, and that's what I ended up doing. But at this point I didn't have the picture yet, so I just moved on to the next drawing. Overall, I feel like the ideas came to me pretty easily, pretty naturally. Some concepts I really wasn't inspired about, and I just wrote the names of the prompts, and maybe later inspiration will come, but I didn't force it. When I didn't have an idea right off the bat, I just moved on to the next one. Also, I knew that I wouldn't have time to draw all of them, so I just focused on the one that I really wanted to draw. starting our first drawing, which is on the theme bicycle. And for this one, I had a clear idea of what I wanted. There was this picture that I took during my vacation last summer. I was posing in it, but the background was really nice. There was this beautiful tree, these grasses, this fence. There was this beautiful nature landscape behind me. But what I wanted was to replace me by a beautiful pink bicycle that I also saw in this same city in this vacation. And I took a picture of these bikes because I don't know why, but I thought they were so pretty. So I combined the two images to create this one. And for this one, I used my acrylic inks. I kind of struggled a little bit with these inks because I only have the primary colors plus a black and a white. And I thought that these would be enough to create all the colors that I wanted. But turns out that when you use white to make a color less intense, well, it turns it into a pastel version, and that's not what I was going for. So I kind of struggled with that, and it's not the only painting I struggled with that. You'll see another one later on. I had the same problem. I think the solution would be to get more colors, but then I don't know if I'm ready for it yet. I have so much art supplies already, so I think maybe I'll just need to work a little bit more with them first. Now we jump to the final result already. I kind of skipped a little bit of the painting part, but you'll have more painting content coming up very soon. Moving on to our second painting for this month of October. This time I took my gouaches out. It had been a little bit of time since I've used them last. Oh yes, it was during the 100 head challenge. That was the last drawing that I did, the last painting I should say. I used these gouache and I loved it so much. So I decided to use them again for this portrait. And I should have really made a sketch beforehand. I kind of was lazy, I think, on this one, and the fact that I didn't have a sketch made everything harder. The proportions were hard to get. I had to change the painting a couple of times because the ear was not placed correctly. Yeah, this is a case of I like the sketch better than the painting. But I think that there's a lot of potential in it and I would like to do it again at some point, but having a sketch first so I can be sure that all my proportions are good before I start painting. Because, well, that wasn't the most efficient workflow, first of all, and it wasn't the prettiest result. But still, I still like it, but I would change a lot of things if I could do it over. moving on to the boxes I was telling you about. The packages, in fact. Well, it's a box full of packages. I had so much fun doing this one. First of all, I did a sketch, so that's good. I've learned something. And I always like using my Prismacolor color pencils. They're so nice to use. They're amazing. And usually I sketch using my red pencil, but this time I decided to use the purple one. I don't know why I chose this color, but you will see that maybe it subconsciously influenced the whole color palette for this image because I went full purple. Also, usually I tend to go towards warmer color palettes, but for these couple of paintings, I don't know what happened, but I really embraced the cold color palettes and I love the results, so yay for exploration. I decided to use gouache again for this one. I like the result a lot better than the first one. I love gouache. Gouache is so much fun to use. I feel like you really need to practice with it just to get the hang of it, but then once you do, it's just endless fun. This is the other one I had a little bit of trouble with. I loved doing this sketch. This idea came to me immediately, but then when came the time to paint it, I had trouble with the colors. I wanted some desaturated but not pastel colors, and the only way I saw I could desaturate the colors a little bit, make them a bit paler, was to add some white, but then I got some pastel colors, so you will see me struggle a little bit with the colors. I tried to change them multiple times. In the end, the result is okay. I guess I would also try to do this one again if I could. For now, it's fine. I think this one would be a great digital painting though. Maybe that's what I'll do. For this one, I was really inspired by Furry Little Peach because I saw that throughout the whole month of October she was using her acrylic inks, so I wanted to do the same and try to achieve a similar result. Her colors are so vibrant. I think she has a lot more colors than me and she can achieve better results. Also, she has more experience with this medium than I do, so there's that. Here I decided to make the table color a little bit more intense, and I like this color a lot better. Then you will see me work on the mug, and that's where I also got some trouble. You'll see, I changed the colors a lot. When you see me add some blue in the curtains there, I really love the way that it spread, so I really had some fun with the different effects I could achieve. Now I'm trying to paint the mug, trying to give it its different colors, and I really struggled a lot with that. In the end, I think the result is fine, but it could be better. Oh, and the problem that I got with this one is something that happens sometimes. It's that I used too much water and it reactivated the painting that was on the other side of the paper. For this instance, I used gouache, so gouache is reactivated with water. So I had to wait a lot before I could continue with my painting because I had to wait for the gouache on the other side to dry. So that was unfortunate. The last step that I did was to use my colored pencils to add some details, add some textures, and I love doing that. That's something that I will do again for sure. Here's another page that I really love. This one was a random study, so I could study anything I wanted. I had a couple of ideas of things that I could study, but I decided to choose hands because we all need to study hands, let's be honest. I don't know, hands are so difficult to draw. It's fun though, it's really rewarding when you manage to draw a good hand. But yeah, you need practice. And by you, I mean I need practice. So I found a bunch of hand poses and I just had fun drawing them in my sketchbook here. And this page, I don't know, I find it so cool. It's so interesting and it's a nice break from all the other paintings that I did. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. Look at these. These are my new Sennelier Oil Pastels. I decided to try them for the first time for this landscape. And oh my god, I feel like I went back into childhood or something. I felt like a child, but with a bit more technique than I used to have. So I kind of feel like I was able to use them in such a different way from anything I've been able to do before with these kinds of pastels. And I had only seen some TikToks about people using them. So that was a lot of fun. Here you see me using some solvent because I read that you can also use some solvent to work with your oil pastels because they're oil based, so you can use the solvent to use them a bit like paint. I didn't use too much solvent though, I just wanted to test it out and it was really nice. It did a cool effect in the clouds. Overall, this was so much fun. A bit messy for the hands because I used my hands to smudge the pastel, but so much fun. Would 100% recommend. One thing that I kind of figured out at the end was that oil pastels, they never dry really. So I thought that we had a problem. The moment I would flip the page, the pastels would get on top of the other painting that I did on the other side. So I did a bit of research and I found that you can use some acrylic paint varnish to put on top of your oil pastel drawing to seal it. I think that they may be better products than this, but from what I've read, there was a lot of mixed reviews and this worked, so that's good for now. So I think it's been a long time since I talked to you last. I think I talked to you only once at the beginning of the video. And right now it's already the 14th of October. So half a month is gone and I feel like I just haven't had time to talk to you. Mainly because I changed jobs. I now work at a nursing care facility, and when you work in a health department, you often work every other weekend. So the rest of your days off are never together. So I kind of feel like I never have any days off, and when I do, I go out, I do stuff. I don't necessarily do art related stuff, so I felt like I had no time to talk to you, in fact. But I've been doing a lot of things. After work, I always try to work a couple of hours in my sketchbook when I can, and I've been trying to participate in Inktober this year, and I think it has been a really cool challenge for me because it really pushed me to create stuff. I think the amount of stuff I created so far, I would have done it in maybe 2 or 3 months. So I'm super happy about it. A very nice experience. I don't think that I'll be able to finish all of the sketches that I did for this month. So I think I'll just continue with them. If they inspire me, I'll just do them anyways. And also at the end of the month, I'll do an Inktober sketchbook tour. So you can see everything that I created this month. Oh, and also next weekend, I won't be able to create much, but I will be following a Zoom class on how to paint with watercolors. Well, it's a mixed media class using mainly watercolors and oil pastels, which is why I bought my oil pastels a couple of days ago. In fact, would you like a little art store haul? Okay, so I'll show you what I bought. I bought some stuff because I was participating in this class. There were some things that I needed that I didn't have, mainly some oil pastels. So I got the Sennelier Oil Pastels, a basic kit with 12 colors. It was my first time using them this month and I loved it so much. And then I told you already that I was planning on having a sketchbook dedicated to swatches. I found something that is for watercolors, but I will use it for mixed media. It's 12 sheets, 300 GSM, cold pressed paper, and I really like the size of it. I think it's going to be perfect for swatches because there's a lot of room to swatch, a lot of room to write things and to be able to compare colors. I know that 12 sheets isn't a whole lot, but we'll start with that and then I can evaluate if I need something bigger or whatnot. Then I also wanted a sketchbook just for explorations, not to create finished art pieces like I have in my sketchbook that I just showed you. I wanted something that was dedicated for like exploring textures, exploring colors, seeing how watercolors react with some water or anything. I kind of wanted to explore some mixed media and anything I could want, and I want a sketchbook just for that, one that I won't be afraid if the pages aren't pretty, because that's not its goal. So I got this. This is a Moleskin Watercolor Pad. So that's the problem. I didn't read correctly. I looked at sketchbooks for like half an hour. I found two that I thought would be okay, and then I saw this one and I was like, oh, that's the perfect size, and it's a Moleskin. So I know that people have Moleskin art sketchbooks, so let's get that. So I got that one instead of the other one, and I realized it's a watercolor pad. So what that means is that it's not a sketchbook. It's just you paint on one sheet, you remove it, and then you can paint on the other. So yeah, that's not exactly what I wanted. I already have a watercolor pad, Archer's, I think, hot pressed watercolor pad. And this one is a cold pressed one, so I figured here's my chance to test the both of them and see what the difference is. But really, that's not exactly what I wanted. So I'll have to go back and get another sketchbook. I also got some acrylic retarder medium. The thing that I used in my last vlog, I really liked it. I loved using it, and I know that every time I paint with acrylics, I will use this for sure. And I only had a little bit left in my other bottle, so I got one. And I got something that wasn't on my list, but that I realized I really needed. And these are big canvases, 16 by 20 inches. It's the same size of my landscape oil painting, and I realized that it was my last one. I didn't have any other big canvases like that, and I loved painting that big. So I bought a 5-pack, and I think I'll be good for a while now. That was my tiny art haul. I hope you liked it. I will see you sometime soon in the next few days, but in the meantime, enjoy some more art making content. And now I'll go feed my cat. For this one, the prompt was a screenshot from Google Maps. So I went around in Google Maps trying to find a cute house with a nice background. And I think that this house is somewhere in Nova Scotia. I don't remember exactly, but this is the one that I found. I thought it was pretty simple and I could do something cute with that. I decided to do it in watercolors. In fact, I did a poll on Instagram and watercolors won, so that's what I did. You can see the little texture in the grass. I did this using some salt. So what you do is that you sprinkle a little bit of salt in your wet paint, you wait, and that's what happens. Then you can just remove the salt when everything's dry. Oh, and this one I think might be my favorite thing that I did in the whole month. The theme for this one was monochromatic. I decided that I would take the opportunity to do a value study. I think that value studies are very important. Having good values makes or break a painting, really. It's so important, and that's something I think that I learned so much this year. So I decided I would do 2 landscapes based on pictures that I took during my vacation last summer. Again, And really use some inks, only inks, and focus on values. The thing that's really important when you do that is to quickly locate your darkest and lightest points in your image, and then you do everything in between. I love doing this so much, and I think that is something that I need to do again. I think it's a very useful exercise at the least. Well, I have some news. A terrible crime has happened. A coworker of mine in our theater troupe has been murdered. I'm just backstage sewing costumes for the troupe. I didn't see anything. So, who had this brilliant idea of killing the lead actress? We will maybe find out tonight at dinner with all of my other coworkers. But first, well, I have to sew these pants because they're too big, so I have to fix them. I need to take in this. Although I am a seamstress for the theater, I have never modified some pants. I decided that I should take out about an inch in the waist. I unsewed the band and then I trace a white line. So I'm gonna sew following this line, and then hopefully it's going to have made my pants smaller and they will fit, they won't buckle, they won't make any weird shape, and we will be done. Well, then I will have to sew the band again, but that won't take too long, I think. We'll see. Moment of truth. let's flip them and try them on. It looks good to me. Not too tight. How does it look? Are they still a bit big? Maybe I should check out a bit more. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. I think they feel a bit big still because the elastic band that's inside the pens I haven't touched. So I think I need to make it a bit smaller so it fits as I intended it, because the fabric is quite stretchy. So I feel like if the elastic band is a bit too big, then the pens will feel big even if I removed a lot of fabric. So let's try that, but I think the result is going to be pretty good. So I think I did a good job. I'm not sure if they're still too big a little bit, but I figured I'm gonna wear them tonight, see how it goes, and if I need to make some adjustments. Now I know how to do that, and I will be able to fix them quite easily. There was a hole here that I fixed, and I took out maybe a bit less than an inch. This is my outfit for the murder and mystery. That's what I was telling you earlier about the murder that just happened. That's for our murder and mystery night. I am the seamstress for the theater troupe, so that's my role, and I brought some measuring tapes that I'm gonna just like put everywhere around me. And that's it for my costume. This is my Halloween costume. I just found these ears. I remember one time I went to a bar and I just wore these ears and everybody loved them. So if you want to make new friends, you are in college or anything like that, and you're going to the bar with your friends, you're going dancing, when you can go back dancing, well, try maybe wearing cat ears because it's a great piece of a conversation. But be careful because people are going to want to steal them, so be careful for that. I already talked about it, but I kind of discovered a new way of working, which is taking the time to create thumbnails in advance, following a prompt list. Well, as I tried it in this month, I found it a lot easier to just create artworks because I didn't have to work on a concept because that part was already done. So I think I will try to do that in the future. I always have a couple of thumbnails that I could work from, and when my list is done, I will just find another prompt list and just get my inspiration that way. There's a lot of paintings and artworks that I didn't get to do this month because I just didn't have the time, but I will do them in the next few months. And especially one painting that I really want to do, you've seen me creating some reference images for it a bit earlier today. This one you will see for sure because I'm so inspired. I am super happy that you were here today. I hope that you liked this vlog. I hope that you like the more heavy art content. I figure that's why you follow this channel, but if you did, thank you. And don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe if you're not already because it always helps. And I'm almost at 500 subscribers, so thank you so much if you're one of them. It means so much to me, and the goal is to get to 1,000, so tell your friends, tell your family, help me get there. Now I will go work on some art and I will see you soon. Bye, take care, and happy Halloween.